Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up, a special guest here. But first, let's take a look at our weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. It's still hot, but they say next week now it's going to cool down just a little bit, but we'll wait and see. High today is going to be 90, low 79. Our water temperature brought to us by Maranta Copy Company, Area Paints Company. We're looking at the end of the pier, right at 88 degrees. Water is still warm. River readings brought to us by the good folks at Panama City Coca-Cola. That place called a bunch down to 7.1. It's going to start dropping out. The Choctaw Caraville, 3.3. It's got a slow, steady drop. For the weekend, that's going to be pretty low now. So should be some good catfishing on the rivers. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Good strong tide today. High right here in the middle of the morning, 9:29, and low tonight, that's 7:48. Really strong tides. Next week will be some neap tides, but really strong tides on through the weekend. Wind direction, we're looking at straight out of west now at 10 to 15. Pretty good breeze right there. Let's take a break. We'll come back with our special guest. Welcome back, folks, and welcome to our special guest this morning, Joy DeCernia from Eastern Shipbuilding. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me here, Coach.
All right.
It's a pleasure to be here.
How long have we been trying to get together so you come on the show?
A little while.
A good while, and we just ran into each other the other night at a cookout and everything. I said, next week you're coming on, so
yep. And I'm here.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah, glad to be here.
You know, we'll talk about our heritage of the fishing and boat building and way back in history, and it keeps on going with Eastern Shipbuilding. And I have a special affinity to the DeCernia family. I got to know them well when I was doing my book, and got to know your dad. And I sat down with him for hours and listened to his stories about how he ended up down here. And
he's got some great stories. Sword
fishing. Real quick, he went to school to be a lawyer.
He did.
Got a law degree.
Yeah, he got a law degree. His father was a lawyer. He just figured that's what he was going to do in life. And he practiced for a couple of years and, said to himself, man, I really don't like this. So I'm going to do something different.
Oh, go fishing.
Yeah, so he eventually became a sword fisherman on the Northeast coast and chased swordfish down here in the Gulf. At that time, that was around the mid-'70s.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew there was a good fishery of swordfish in the Gulf of Mexico. They don't come to the surface like they do in the Northeast. So the Japanese fishing fleet had found them. He had gotten word that they were down here, so he came down to Panama City and dealt with a fish dealer. I believe his name was Jerry Cook, way back in the day, and did well, and the rest is history. He put down roots in Panama City, and here I am.
There it is. And the Cook Fish Company, Jerry Cook, and he was able to, he didn't really have the boat. He couldn't find a boat he really wanted, so he built a sword fishing boat, right?
He did.
That's how y'all got into the boat building.
That's exactly right. He had two converted wooden shrimp boats that he had bought from South America. They were leakers. So he did well enough in the Gulf of Mexico when he came down here to where he had some financing to get a new boat. So he went to the Sherman Shipyard, which is now the Mercury Marine Test Facility over there in Watson Bayou.
Right.
They had a fishing vessel, small one, being built that the owner had canceled out on. And so my dad picked up that contract and said, I'll buy the boat and let's get it finished. And they got it done, and he went out and did well. And he had financing for some additional vessels, and he said, well, this time I'm going to do it myself. So he leased an acre of land on Watson Bayou and got a handful of welding machines and a few people and started building fishing vessels.
That's the beginning of Eastern Marine, right?
That's it, on 1 acre of land.
Is that not a great story, a success story? And we'll get to it later, but about how many people y'all employ?
Right now we're around 1,500 people.
1,500?
Yeah. And
you started with just 2 or 3 dimensions?
Just a handful.
Just a handful.
Just a handful.
I've been to some of the launchings he invited me, and I just when I sat down and talked to him, I was just in awe of how he actually did all that. And,
yeah, it's amazing.
Just by hand and brain.
Yeah, he's a risk taker, and back then things were a little bit different. You could permit things a little easier, but he when he decided he wanted to do something, he figured out how to get it done.
Yeah. And I think one of my favorite stories, he talked about the movie The Perfect Storm.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting story. That vessel in there, you got a picture?
I'll bring it up while you're talking.
Yeah,
Tell us about it.
So the vessel, the Andrea Gale, which was the vessel that sank in The Perfect Storm, the movie, it was originally named the Miss Penny. It was one of the vessels that my father had built for himself to swordfish out of. It was a longliner. So he built it right here in Panama City.
Here it is right here.
Yeah.
This is in my book. If y'all have my book, pull out the story. And
yeah, there it is. There's the Miss Penny.
Right there.
So that's the Miss Penny, and she fished out of Panama City. Our longtime, now retired chief operating officer, which was at the cookout the other day. I don't know if you got a chance to see him, Ken Monroe. He was the first skipper on that particular vessel. Yep, he was the first skipper. So he was a captain for my father, and he fished in the Northeast and in the Gulf, and eventually he decided to, shift over into the shipbuilding side of it, and he spent his life doing that. He did a great job for us.
Well, that movie was just something else. It was sinking in the storm in 1991, and then it came out with Sebastian Junger wrote a book, and then they made a movie out of it. And the producers came down here to get another boat built. How was the story on that?
So they came to us, and I think they were looking for just drawings, information, pictures. Interesting thing is the vessel that was in the movie that portrayed the Andrea Gale, that was actually the sister ship to the Andrea Gale that we also built. So, they leased it, I believe, for the movie. They obviously repainted it and put the name Andrea Gale on it. And it's pretty interesting.
What a great story there. And I know, we always talk about superstition about changing the name on a ship, about it brings bad luck. And your dad and I talked about that. He said he shouldn't change the name to.
Yeah, that's for sure. But interesting story. Our family business, the Shipyard, started organically here in Panama City, and all the yards that we have, we started from scratch.
Yes.
So, he did, all of that stuff, planning it out, finding land, permitting it, a lot of pretty interesting things. Those are the kind of things that I have a lot of interest in as well, is planning things out, planning yards out, figuring out how to get things done, figuring out how to build them out and make it to where they work efficiently and all that good stuff.
Wow, that's got to be a challenge. You had such satisfaction from seeing it develop like that.
It's really neat.
We got a lot of pictures to show you. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back with Joy DeCernia. Okay, welcome back. Here with Joy DeCernia. We're talking about Eastern Shipbuilding, the roots of it. A lot of y'all probably didn't know the roots, and I didn't either until I started doing the book and found out about it. But the DeCernia family, I go way back, not just knowing the dad and all, but your sister was you went to Rutherford.
I did.
In the IB program, but your sister was at Mosley as a cheerleader. Now, how many children are in your family?
So I'm one of 10. 10 children, that's right, 10.
10. What number are you?
Number 6.
Okay, so.
Right in the middle.
So when I was coaching basketball way back in the 90s, and when the DeCernia family, she was cheering, when they came in, we started filling up the bleachers.
That's it.
And I got the biggest kick, and I always put a smile on my face to see the family coming in. They were just like little step ladders. And they were sitting in bleachers, and y'all were all well behaved.
Hey,
You had to.
Yeah, I mean, she must have fed us right before we got there or something. That's the only reason we were well behaved. But I remember that. I rember being in the Mosley gym at some of those games. I was obviously younger, but I do remember that.
And now you were 6 boys?
6 boys, 4 girls, yeah.
And you said the boys are still all in town?
That's right. Yeah, all 6 of the sons work at the shipyard, and we're spread out throughout the yard. We do all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. That's unique.
And the girls sort of scattered.
They're scattered. Some in North Carolina, New Orleans, Cincinnati.
And Mimi, okay, that's the one I remember. Mimi, I'll give you a shout out because you're in North Carolina. I want to say good morning to you and hope you're doing well. I still remember your big smile and big cheering. So
I'm sure she'll love to hear that. That I saw you.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Eastern Shipbuilding. We got a picture here, okay, and here let's take a look at this picture right here. Tell us about this one. This is amazing.
Yeah, this is our Allenton yard. So this is the largest of our 3 yards. It's out in the Sandy Creek area. It's the eastern end of Bay County in the beautiful East Bay area. So that particular yard's about 300 acres. And Brian, my father, bought that, and it was a pine woods. So he developed it from scratch. Interesting story there. It was back in the early 80s when the oil boom was happening in the Gulf of Mexico. And he got a contract to build 10 anchor handling tug supply vessels. They were about 180 feet long, which was huge back then. So he signed the contract, didn't have anywhere to build them, bought Allenton, the Allenton yard. As he's developing the yard and clearing it and trying to make it into a shipyard, he's building the ships and he's permitting and digging the launch basin. And so it worked out to where right as the launch basin got finished, he was launching new vessels into it.
So he was a risk taker.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, he took a risk, but he knew he could get it done.
Yep, he knew he could get it done. Back then, Florida was big time pro jobs, and permitting was quite a bit easier.
Yeah.
Nowadays it'd be difficult to even do that.
Really? On this picture here, I look at the shoreline. He just kept the trees down there. He kept a nice shoreline.
Yeah.
And that's just so natural there. Your crabs still coming up there. You can go out there and fish during lunch.
Yeah. No, I used to fish in the basin during lunch and after work a lot of times. In fact, at the Allenton yard, when I was younger, my father, he'd go to work on Saturdays and he'd always ask us, who wants to come to work with Dad? And, nobody would raise their hand except me.
No way.
And so because, I really love to go by, it was McCabe's Grocery right there on 22. We'd go to McCabe's, I'd get some frozen shrimp, and then we'd go to work and I'd go down at the basin and I'd fish. So that's kind of how I got to know the shipyard and know the people mostly, because they, the workers would come down there and they want to see what I'm doing. Hey, what are you doing? What you catching? And I'd tell them, I caught this, that. Well, what are you doing with them? Well, I just let them go. And they'd go, what? Well, here, Joey, here's a bucket. When you catch them, put them in this bucket because I'm going to take them home.
I can see that happen. What all did you catch?
I caught trout, redfish. I got broke off a bunch of times.
Yeah.
God knows what it was, probably some big black drum or something like that, but it's fun.
That's cool. All right.
That yard's really neat. We're also, you talk about the environment, our shipyards are all ISO 14001 certified, which is an environmental certification that you don't have to get.
Yeah.
But we enjoy the woods and water. We live here, we want to make sure everything's clean. So all of our stormwater systems, runoff, all of our emissions, all of our recycling systems, they all meet a pretty high criteria of environmental friendliness.
What a great layout there. And these, of course, these different...
Those are supply vessels being built. This was back in 2013-14. So we were delivering a 300-foot supply vessel every 6 to 8 weeks. It's a pretty incredible time.
So y'all put them, you just start them in like assembly line? Or
That's it. Raw steel comes in at the north end of the yard. We cut the steel with a plasma cutter, and then we build the ship in sections. We call them units. Okay. And then you just add unit upon unit upon unit, and a ship is born.
Okay. How many folks working at Allenton, roughly?
Right now, only about 300-400. Okay. But the Allenton yard is growing. Yeah. So you're going to see the Allenton yard continue to get busier. Nelson Street is staying busy, and then Port St. Joe is booming right now.
Okay, let's look at this one right here. Which one is this?
Yeah, this is the Nelson Street Shipyard right there on Watson Bayou.
Okay.
So as you can see, we've got, what we do there is strictly government work. That's our yard that we're building the offshore patrol cutter for the U.S. Coast Guard.
Oh, yeah.
So you see Argus, which is the first cutters in the water there. Yeah. And then behind it, up on the hill, you can see the second and third cutters that are being built. The second one actually is a complete ship. You can see it in the upper right portion of that photo there. But the Nelson Street Shipyard is the oldest of the shipyards that we have. Brian started the company on 1 acre of leased land. Actually, where is it? It's right there where Gilman Marine used to be back in the day. That's the piece of property where Brian built his first boat. And then eventually he bought a homestead up the bayou, which is the Nelson Street Shipyard, and it's kind of grown over the years.
I've been to one of the launchings there of a Coast Guard vessel. That was something.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
It's impressive to see that. You see that boat sliding down there, and is that going to make it? Is it going to turn over? It looks like it's about to turn over.
It's intimidating.
It's got to be after all that work.
We do a tremendous amount of engineering to make sure those launches are safe. Yeah. We actually model them with 3D modeling software, so we can simulate the entire launch. Everything, the speed, how far the boat heels over, the depth that it plunges. So we're very good at it, but I'm not going to lie to you and say that I am not nervous on launch days.
Yeah.
I'm a lot more comfortable once the boat gets in the water. Let's put it that way.
It was really neat. It's sort of a little community event. Everybody's there under the tent looking, and I'm looking around because most of us are novices, and we're looking around. That looks scary.
Is this going to work?
Hope nobody's on there. But it's awesome. And
they're great. Families come out. Employees are proud of what they do. They show their families and the kids.
It was so good to see all the kids and everybody out there.
Yep.
Their dad, my dad and mom worked on that.
And those are lifelong memories.
Yeah, proud of it. And to me, it's special to me because of my love of history and our boat building heritage going back to 100-some years ago. Actually seeing the wooden boats built, launched like that, and it's just special to me.
It is, and we're unique in that the shipbuilding is a kind of a dying industry in the United States. There's been a lot of news surrounding that lately, and our attempts by the Trump administration to kind of revive it. So it's interesting, and it's really cool to have something as unique as a shipyard, and a large one here in Bay County, still building vessels that operate throughout the globe and make a difference.
Yep, that's awesome. Let's take our final break. We'll be right back with Joy DeCernia. Okay, welcome back. Here with Joy DeCernia from Eastern Shipbuilding, I guess the big dog they call you up there. You sort of got all the responsibility, all the rest on you. Before we get back to Joy, let's take a look at our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers out of Port St. Joe. One time, 10:34 to 12:34. And speaking of Port St. Joe, y'all are down there now.
We are. Yeah, we are.
Let's take a look at this picture here. This is cool. Tell us what's going on here.
Pretty neat. So we are finishing 2 vessels that actually failed at a shipyard in Louisiana. The owner, who we've done a lot of business with in the past, they asked us to finish them. So they towed them over to us. What we're doing right there is we're actually setting the helicopter decks on both vessels. So you can see that's a large crane. We had to rent that crane in for these lifts. That's a 900-ton capacity crane.
Whoa.
And it's actually lifting a fully assembled helideck, is what they call them, onto the second vessel. So that day, it was a cool day because we have 3 vessels there. All 3 of them have helidecks. So we successfully set all 3 helidecks in 2 days. So a lot of planning and went into that. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. You were saying the other night at a cookout, and you brought us something. I just chuckled when I heard it. You have how many employees you have in Port St. Joe?
Oh, we've got over 500.
Okay, so when everybody comes, all your workers come into town, tell us about that.
I looked it up. It's interesting. It's great to be a part of the St. Joe community. Those folks over there have just welcomed us with open arms, and it's really been a great partnership. So we've been able to expand. We have over 500 employees there. And I looked it up, and the census may be off a little bit, but the St. Joe has around 3,700 people population in the city. So every day shift, we increase the population of St. Joe by over 13%. So I just thought that was really neat.
That is cool.
Because look, we talk about jobs, we talk about economic impact, and jobs are extremely important. But when you kind of back up and look at it, one job to an area like Bay County, or one job to an area like Escambia County, a lot different from one job to an area like Port St. Joe. Because when you look at the population and how small the area is, I mean, it's a game changer.
Yeah, and I love that area all in. Since the 30s, the big shipbuilding, they came in there to this paper mill.
That's right.
So many big ships came. That was a natural channel forever, just a natural deep water channel, and y'all are still able to use it.
It's a beautiful place, and our shipyard sits on the old paper mill site.
I realize that, and that's what I'd love to see you come back and do something like that. What about your employees? I went to y'all do something so special. It's a family atmosphere, and I could tell real quick by the times I've been over there. And y'all have like a little picnic tournament, a fishing tournament. Tell us about that.
We do. So one of the things that makes us a little different, especially from other shipyards, is we're very family oriented. We're a family company. I grew up in the shipyard, and I got to know a lot of the people and their families. We like to do a lot of the same things. We love this area. We love to hunt and fish and everything in between. So we spend a lot of time focusing on them. We do a picnic in the spring where we We rent out the Oaks Under the Bay. What's the name of the Under the Oaks? Under the Oaks Park over there.
Okay.
And we have over 1,000 employees and their families come out, and we do just a good old-fashioned company picnic with Dunkin' booths and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
We do a fishing tournament, which is a charity tournament. It's been a great tournament over on the river. This year we did it in White City. Tremendous event. England Reeves puts it on. Our employees love it. They bring out their families. You know, we feed them. They just have a blast.
Yeah.
And then we're actually we rent out Shipwreck. At the end of the summer every year, we rent out Shipwreck, and we rent out the whole place and turn all our employees and their families loose in the water park. And you know, they enjoy that because, you know, Shipwreck it's kind of far away, right? It's out on the beach, but it's not cheap to get into, and it's crowded during the summer. So when our employees get to go there and have the whole place to themselves and not wait in lines, man, they love it.
I know. That's what I mean. Your employees, and I got to know some of them. They're family guys and girls, and you can see when I go to the cookout, the things y'all do, and they got the kids there and all that. So, and they work hard.
They work very hard. So they work very hard, and you know, my philosophy's always been, you know, take care of your employees, and they'll take care of you. So we've got loyal folks, you know, because we're loyal to them. We treat them right, and they're part of our family. Yeah,
I know your dad's proud of that too, because he was the same way.
He is, you know, and I think that's an important point because, you know, Brian, my father, not only, you know, built the shipyard from scratch, but he also established a base of values that we continue to live by today, and that's done us well. That's
special. And you have all different job positions and all, and y'all always looking for help. Y'all pretty well.
Always looking for help. Yeah, always looking for help. We've got a lot of craft positions open, especially our steel crafts and ship fitting and welding, pipe fitting, pipe welding. But you know, we employ folks that are you know, the top-notch naval architects and marine engineers in the world. And all the way to you know, folks that are delivering water, you know, to the ships, and so everything in between. It takes all those folks to pull it together.
Well, it speaks volumes when you get a Coast Guard contract. It speaks volumes of your reputation and the quality of the work you do. When the Coast Guard is willing to let y'all build their boats and all that. That's a big deal. And interestingly enough, when the Coast Guard comes and looks at our quality, and recently the Navy, we're building some units for the Navy. And they come in and they say, "Wow, how is your quality so good?" Okay, we got to go. We're running out of time. You got to come back, Joy. I'm going to come see y'all pretty soon.
Thanks for having me, Coach.
Good job. We appreciate y'all.
Great to be here.
Do something good for someone else today. You have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors. Let's take care of it, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.